Welcome back everyone to another Gwent match. This is just going to be a single match. Monsters versus Nilfgaard. Now the rules are going to be the same as before. Deck strength 135 and the normal minimum, maximum special cards and unit cards apply. So I'm playing monster deck with a different strategy. I've chosen Eredin, Bringer of Death, which we'll go into later. And my opponent is Nilfgaard. I've never fought a Nilfgaard deck before, so this will be interesting for me. Both of us opting to replace 2 cards. I pull out a Crone and a Arrakis. I have a duplicate, which is unfortunate for me. And placing down a Spy straight away, which is risky, but I do gain a Vampire and the Dragon. The Dragon will be very useful, and the Vampire I don't have at all, so that's very good indeed. Him opting to do the same. Now he's hopefully trying to get spies. Nilfgaard have 3 spies in their deck available to them, and he's hoping to get one. But this spy that we both placed down there is an excellent card. It's a really good card. Adds 0 strength to the opponent's side. It's a hero, so you cannot pull it back out of the discard pile. Because one tactic is to, after they've placed a spy on your side, you pull it out of your discard pile later to use, or you decoy it. You can't decoy heroes, so it's a very good card, very safe spy to use. Okay, so the monster deck has an early lead, which is not always good, but it's only a small one. So I've got to make a decision here. So the different tactic I placed in this game, in the monster deck, is Eredin, Bringer of Death, which I'm about to use now. So what this does is I discard 2 cards from my hand and pick up 1 of my choice from my deck. Now we had a massive, I think it was like a 5-minute break here, as I was about to pull one out of my deck, because we were unsure and I had no way of checking whether you could pull any card. Most of the time, it's heroes and special cards are usually excluded, but after the fact, we had to just go, we had to roll with it and hope that we were right, and it turns out we were right. You can choose any card you want out of your deck, which is really good. If you couldn't, it would be an absolutely horrific leader ability. Really terrible, but you can, and so I chose Yennefer of Vengerberg. So, the strategy here is that I've discarded 2 cards there, so you may say this seems like a bit of a bad choice. I discarded my only Vampire, but that's why I chose Yennefer of Vengerberg. I'm going to pull him out of the discard pile later. And I discarded a Necker. Now he's a duplicate Necker, so it doesn't really matter, because it was in my hand wasted anyway. Now, you could say I'm 2 cards down and only got 1 back, so it's not really that great. However, I basically traded a 2 Necker for Yennefer, and I'll get that Vampire back using Yennefer. Now, it could have been better. I could have gotten Yennefer in my hand already, in which case I could have chose anything bigger, like Geralt, or something like that, or a Scorch, or something more specific. But since I didn't have Yennefer in my hand, I needed her to pull out the Vampire, which is the strategy I was going for. So I did place my Necker down, and the Necker that I discarded, which didn't arise to me at the time, does not come out of your discard pile. So I did waste a Necker, which is unfortunate. I probably, in hindsight, may not have done that, but I think a Necker is okay to discard. It's only 2. Placing down Dandelion, he's a really good minion to have if you've got a lot of front people. On the monster deck, he's very good. So we're kind of just moving back and forth, trying to just get the opponent to pass at this point. I think we've played all our spies. We're just trying to see how easy it is to make the opponent pass. You see, we're generally putting down cards which only beat the opponent by like 1 or 2 or something like that, usually. The monster deck player, myself, has opted to pass. So I get 4 cards using my little program again. We're going to randomize a card for me. Not the best card I could have got, to be honest. Dandelion would have been great, and I think it was Earth Elemental or Fire Elemental at the bottom would have been very good. Okay, now this is the thing I did not foresee at the beginning. And I was very, very worried here. I knew it was coming after I read it. But basically, the Nilfgaard hero ability he's chosen, leader ability, is to draw 1 card out of my discard pile. Okay, so he had a hard decision here. He wanted to pull out Dandelion so he could like double get a free Commander's Horn on his front row. But I think he chose strategic over just pure strength here. And I was very worried here. He chose my vampire, and that was the only vampire I had in my hand, so that was very strategically well done. I can now no longer pull out any vampires, which is excellent. Now, I got really scared because I thought when he placed it down, they'd all come out of my hand and go on his side of the board. Now, that's a shame it doesn't actually do that because it only pulls it out of your deck. In a monster deck, if we were fighting monster versus monster, that would have been amazing, because he would have placed that one down and it pulled all the other vampires from his deck. So we'd have like 6 vampires instead of 5. However, you probably wouldn't put a vampire into your discard pile, and you wouldn't be able to use that hero ability, so it's impossible. I'm talking rubbish. Anyway, it is a shame that it didn't pull all. That would have been an amazing strategic move. But I mean, he did well to pull the vampire out. That means that I have no longer have access to a vampire. But he told me he did want Dandelion, but he wanted strategicness over pure strength at the minute. So my Yennefer of Vengerberg, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. I'm just going to have to use her later. She's still very useful. Right, Scorch. So he used 2 Scorches this game, and they've both only really got rid of an elemental on the back row. So not excellent uses of Scorch. He may not have, had much other choice because he can't pass, or he doesn't want to pass yet. But he is making me play cards. I mean, I'm on 14, so I don't need to play anything else. So we'll see what I do play. Okay, so we are doing Yennefer of Vengerberg. Probably going to pull out Dandelion, yes. There we go. So I've got a massive advantage. I'm expecting a pass here. There's no reason for him to really place anything down. And he's got a free round. This is what he wanted to happen. Oh, he is placing a card. He's placing his own Yennefer of Vengerberg. So, okay. He's making me place even more cards. I had a huge advantage, but he's making me play more cards. So this becomes very difficult for me now, because I need to save some stuff for the next round, but I cannot give up at all. So having to use that dragon, even though its effect is not used. Alright, he's placing a lot of cards down. Again, it's my turn. He's really kind of pushing me to waste my cards that I'm trying to save for the next round. I think that clearly is demonstrated by this move that I'm doing. Commander's Horn on the front row does effectively nothing except double Dandelion, because Dandelion's effect is a Commander's Horn already, so they can't be stacked. So the only one that didn't get Commander's Horn is Dandelion, but now he gets doubled to 4 instead. So a waste of a card, but I am really trying to just make him pass, and I think he has done. Okay, so my monster is 1, which is an excellent card to have. That's probably one of the best ones it could have been. Not in strength, but in strategy. I do have some very good melee-oriented cards left. So Dandelion gives them an automatic Commander's Horn, which is excellent. And Dandelion has doubled all of them. Really, really effective. If he had a Scorch now, he's already used 2. If he could have saved his Scorch till now, he could have really dealt with that horrifically. So I have no more cards, so I've done an automatic pass, and he's just going to have to try and beat my score of 34. Very effective use of cards here. Drawing his big cards out of his deck. That's what kind of Nilfgaard do. Place your big 10 cards. So they're going to your discard pile next round. Start placing cards that pull them out of your discard pile. And then he's decoyed it, so he can place it down again. So he's really racking up these points, and he's very close. And Commander's Horn. Oh boy, that's an exceedingly close game. If I hadn't have got Dandelion saved on my monster ability, I would have lost that. So it all came down to Dandelion in the end. Well played.